Hello.
We are back with a special guest that wants to be included. It's Mateo.
Hello.
First, I wanted to talk about my birth story with Mateo, and then I'll have Frank join and we can talk about how everything's been going since then. The way I thought my birth was going to go and what actually ended up happening were very different. I thought that I was going to have a water birth. I was super excited for it. I was practicing hypnobirthing from the moment I found out I was pregnant. At 20 weeks, they told me that I was risked out of a birth center because my blood pressure was high. They moved me to an OBGYN. So I talked to the OB and I told him, hey, I know I have to give birth in a hospital, but I still want it to be as natural as possible. I mean, there was also a lot of like things that they thought were wrong with me that weren't. They thought I had preeclampsia because of my blood pressure. Like 2 or 3 times they would have me do blood work and the urine tests and everything, and it would always be negative. They also thought I had gestational diabetes because I failed my 1-hour test, but I passed my 3-hour, and then they had me do it again. They thought Mateo was going to be a 9 or 10 pounder because his ultrasounds were always like over 90th percentile. So they were like, a C-section would be better for that. But the reason I actually ended up having a C-section was because he was a breech and he never flipped. Every day I would be in handstands for like 30 minutes. I tried doing the moxa sticks, which is like acupressure or acupuncture, but it's with heat. It's supposed to help flip the baby, and that didn't work, obviously. I like did a lot of running and walking. That didn't really help. I would be bouncing on the yoga ball every day. That didn't really help. So I feel like I did everything in my control to flip this baby. And they did talk about trying to manually rotate Mateo, but because he was measuring so large, they thought that he wouldn't flip. So I was like, okay, I guess C-section really is the only option here. So the day of, they told me to get there at 11 and not to eat anything from the night before. But there were so many labors that my doctor had. And we ended up getting in the operating room at like 6 o'clock. So I got in the room and they did the spinal, and I was so freaked out. That was like the scariest part for me because, again, I hate needles and I see so many horror stories of people who like become paralyzed. I don't know why I read that stuff before the surgery, but I did. It's so bizarre not feeling like, this is like the line where like everything under this I had no feeling at all, and it's so freaky. I was shaking so hard the whole table was shaking. The anesthesiologist was like, are you nervous? And I was like, how can you tell? Every time a nurse came in the room I was like hoping it would be Franklin, and it never was. Finally they let Franklin come in his like scrubs and stuff. It was so cute. And honestly, as soon as the doctor came in, Mateo was taken out within like 10 minutes. Like, it was so fast. I didn't feel anything. A lot of people say they feel a lot of pressure, but the anesthesiologist did see that I was super nervous, and they put extra in my spinal. I was like, appreciate you, my guy. I didn't even know they started the surgery. They didn't say they were starting the surgery. So I'm just like waiting for them to start cutting, I guess. And I just hear a baby crying, and oh my god, I could not stop crying. Do you remember that?
I knew that they started because I had been watching the suction blood. But
yummy.
But then yeah, I heard the baby cry immediately after, and I was like, wow. That was fast.
Like, you know you're pregnant, you know that there's a baby in there, but when you see a baby, like, that's crazy. And they took him over to be weighed and everything, and the whole time I'm like, I want to see my baby, I want to see my baby, at least like hold him up, let me see what he looks like, you know. Frank would walk over, take a picture on my phone and like show me the picture, and I'm like, oh my god. Finally, I'm getting closed up and they show me my baby, they put him on my chest, they take a picture, and they're like, all right, we're gonna take him now. And I'm like, I was like, okay, Frank, you can go with the baby, make sure he's fine, and I'll see you right after. I thought it was gonna be like 10 minutes. I was wrong. They put me in a like recovery room, and this was the hardest part. I thought the spinal would be the hardest part, but the hardest part was in the recovery room. I wanted to be with my baby, I wanted to be with Franklin, and I was by myself for hours. Well, maybe like an hour and a half. They would not let anyone come to me. They would not let me see the babe. So I just kept calling Franklin. I was on the phone with him probably the whole time. And I was like, just stare at him. What does he look like? What color hair does he have? What's going on?
Looks like he's got acne. Is that normal?
They ended up taking him a bath, which I didn't want. I wanted to be there for that, but it's fine. They brought me to my postpartum room, and I finally got to see my mom, and that was nice. But the baby still wasn't there. Finally, they bring the baby out. I have that memory like ingrained in me. When Franklin walked in with the baby, I saw that he had like like light blue or gray eyes, and I like got to hold him and try breastfeeding for the first time, and I just felt like, oh, it was the best. It was the best.
All right, we are at the hospital. We have our new baby boy.
This is Mateo Cruz for sale. Take a little zoom in on him.
Yeah.
He is so cute. He was born at 8 pounds, 14 ounces.
No, he wasn't. 7.
7 pounds, 14 ounces, which is smaller than all the ultrasounds predicted. They thought he was going to be huge.
And I think he was 21. He was almost 22 inches long.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yes, 21 3/4, I believe. I
don't know anything about length. I don't know if that's like long. Or
apparently, they've been saying he's tall. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He looks so little to me.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, show the hair.
Oh yeah, he got a whole head of hair on him when he came out. Look at that.
It's so
I feel
soft.
soft spot. Interesting.
Don't touch his soft spot. I love
It's
him.
the baby.
He's so perfect. I love him. Right after the C-section, physically, I felt fine. After the spinal, the only thing I was really given was ibuprofen, which is kind of crazy. Like in the beginning when I was just in bed, it was fine. But once I started trying to like walk and get out of bed, that hurt. It felt like my stitches were just like, that was not fun. I'm like, okay, this is what I take for a headache. So maybe anything more. So yeah, that's the birth story. I'm gonna grab Frank and the baby. Okay, just ignore him snacking on his hands right now. It's been 2 months and we have not recorded any videos with this little guy.
It's true. We have been too busy not getting sleep. Not gonna say whose fault that is.
What has been the most surprising thing about becoming parents?
I was surprised you just let us leave the hospital with a whole ass baby.
I would say I feel like how much closer a baby makes you to everyone around you.
Yeah, everybody wants to
That
come
makes
over and be a part of your life.
Yeah, like, or like even us with other people, like we want to see people because we want people to see the baby and like for them to know him.
Cutest thing that he does. I like a smile. I know.
He just started smiling.
I love
and it's the best.
I love his sneezes. Yeah.
No, you know what my favorite thing is? The startle reflex.
No,
When he's just like laying down and he goes.
No, I still like the sneezes. 'Cause he'll sneeze and then he'll just look around like, who did
you see that?
Who did that?
Smiles.
That's you.
What's his personality like so far?
Chill.
He is so chill. He's the best.
Chillest.
It takes a lot for him to cry, I would say. And he's been sleeping through the night since he was like a month old, I think. Also, he sleeps anywhere. We'll be at a party and he'll fall asleep. That's pretty cool. What's your favorite thing about being parents so far?
Having a little minion that I can mold into my own. We're gonna watch all the Batman movies.
I feel like I've always wanted to be a mom, and now that I'm a mom, I feel like this makes sense. Happy? He loves.
Right.
How have we handled the sleepless nights? At first, we had to wake him up every like 2 to 3 hours during the night. And then once he reached his birth weight, the pediatrician said we could start letting him sleep.
And I know that she was going to have to wake up during the night to breastfeed anyway. So she'll wake up, breastfeed him, and then...
So first you wake up to change his diaper at like 7. And then you give him to me and I breastfeed. And then you burp him and we go back to sleep. Is what we usually do.
Yeah.
What's the first thing we noticed about our baby after he was born?
Eyes.
Yeah.
Gray eyes.
He has,
like a
like-
blue-gray.
Yeah, we were just so excited to see what he was going to look like when he was born. To see like if he looked like a mix of us. But turns out he chose his dad.
Whose goddamn white baby is that?
This is your baby, okay? He's just light-skinned.
How has our daily routine changed since the baby arrived? I know in Dominican Republic, like my parents told me, the norm is like for the mom to basically be quarantined for 40 days. After he turned like a week old, we were leaving the house, going to my grandparents' house. 2 weeks, we started going to we went to
It was a kickball game in 2 weeks.
and we saw our friends. We were a lot more careful before he got his vaccines, but we still didn't stop doing what we wanted to do just because we had a baby.
I think the only thing that's changed is just waking up in the middle of the night.
It's not the middle of the night.
It's dark out.
What's one milestone you're looking forward to?
I want to know what his interest is going to be. Like, if it's going to be dinosaurs, is it going to be like Hot Wheels
Oh,
and
like
cars?
his hyperfixation?
Yeah, what is this going to be, his toddler hyperfixation?
I have been so excited for like the 6 months range when they can start to sit up and we can start feeding them solids, because there's so much that they say you can't do until 6 months. And I can't wait to make baby food for him. What's been the biggest challenge in the first few months? Oh, you know what I think it is? Setting boundaries.
Oh my god, yes. We're bitches.
Bad. We don't like confrontation. It is more important to set boundaries when you have a baby. So that's been hard to learn. What are we most excited about for the future with our baby? I think it's going to be going camping with him.
Oh, camping, that's a good one.
Yeah. He's wearing a camping shirt right now.
Yeah.
His whole room is camp themed. We just want to do a lot of outdoorsy stuff with him.
Heard.
Yeah.
I'm going to put him down.
Okay.
Say goodnight.
Bye, Stinky. There's our life update for Mateo.
Bye-bye.
Hopefully we'll talk to you when Mateo's a little bit older. Bye.